Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm going to be doing my weekly wrap-up number 2. I'm so excited. I'm loving being able to do these small wrap-ups of the books that I've read instead of doing it all at the end of the month. Less things for me to remember, and then I can gush longer about each book. First book that I finished this week was Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. This is the kids classic edition, so after reading it I realized they probably took a ton of the boring stuff out and just kept the action. It was pretty good. It's about a man named Phileas Fogg who is extremely punctual. He spends his entire day looking at the clock to find out what time it is. He does the exact same thing every single day to the T, very OCD. And one day while he is out at his men's reform club, they're playing whist, I think that's how you say it, some card game, and he makes a bet with his other gentleman that he can go around the world in 80 days, and he bets 20,000 pounds, and they're thinking there's no way he's going to have to pay up. And so before he leaves, he writes a check and he says, I'm leaving tonight. He also had just hired a assistant named Passepartout, I think that's how you pronounce it, and so Phileas Fogg and Passepartout go on this journey for 80 days to go around the world through boat and railway and mostly boat and railway. They do ride an elephant in India at one point, but majority of the time they're by ship and by train. During their expedition, a man named Mr. Fix, a detective, catches wind that Phileas Fogg may be a robber from London who stole 50,000 pounds from a bank. He decides to follow Phileas Fogg and try to capture him with a warrant and arrest him. And in doing so, he ends up tagging along with these two on their voyage. Very interesting. I think I actually want to read the original now that I've read this one. My son really enjoyed it. He was sad that I had to stop reading. And really, I mean, see, the pictures are pretty cool, but the font is so big. Like 24 font, something like that. It was super easy to read, so I quite enjoyed reading this classic as quickly as I did. I think I read about, I don't know, 40 pages a day, something like that. Very fast. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 3 stars, something like that. The next 2 books that I finished were Hellhole by Gina D'Amico and The Cure for Dreaming by Kat Winters. Now, I want to do a full review on this, so I'll probably do that on Wednesday, but just a quick synopsis. This book is about a boy named Max who gets stuck taking care of his mom, who's very ill. She's got a weak heart, and so after school, he ends up going to a gas station, and that's where he works until about 10, 11 o'clock at night, and that's what he does every single day. He makes good grades. He believes in being a good person. He never puts a toe out of line. He's very, very good. But one day, he gets this itch. He's thinking he really, really, really wants to take this cat that is at his at the gas and go that he works at. I think it's Sack and Bag or some weird gas station name. But there's this little bobblehead cat with glitter all over it, and he's thinking, this is such a cute little piece of crap thing. My mom would really like it. We can't afford to buy this because I have lots of bills that I need to pay, but I really want this cat, and so he steals it and takes it home, and doesn't think anything of it besides the fact that he felt really, really guilty for taking this cat. But something major happens because he stole it. And I don't want to give what that major thing away is, except for this is the pinnacle, the point of no return. This small, glittery cat changes his entire life. And it's hilarious. It's dark and funny, but moving and sad and funny again, and the dialogue is just the best. And Gina D'Amico, I can't wait for her next book. She's so hilarious. This was such an easy read, extremely unrealistic, but super funny. I really enjoyed it. The next book, like I said, was The Cure for Dreaming by Kat Winters, and this one was perfect to read alongside the Demon book because that one was light, funny. That was more for entertainment. This one, what I felt reading this book is what I felt when I was reading Animal Farm, like the injustice. This is about a girl named Olivia Mead, and she's 17, I think, and she is starting to become a suffragist. I think that's how you say it. They live in Oregon. It's 1900s. Women are just starting out, rebelling, wanting the rights to vote. Men are taking wind of this and saying, hey, this is unladylike and unfeminine. Women need to be quiet. Women need to be demure and be, obedient and do all the things the men say for them to do. There's no reason for women to get into politics. They're too dumb to know what any of that stuff means. And this book just, it was so good. Just the hatred that I had for these ignorant men. Oh my gosh. I gave this a 4-star. It's not a 5-star because it's very, very good, but the storyline is kind of I don't know how to say it. Like, it was more of like a political book than a haunting read, if you want to say it like that. So Olivia Mead, on October 31st, which is her birthday, she just turned 17, and she goes to a hypnotist show and meets Henri Riviere, and he is a hypnotist. He's 18, and she's the first one to go up onto stage and for him to hypnotize her. She's very susceptible to hypnotism, and he is able to really manipulate her mind, and her father catches wind of this and decides the perfect thing to do for his disobedient, rebellious daughter is to have the hypnotist hypnotize her to take all of these unfeminine ideas, her dreaming, if you will, out of her mind. So if she ever thinks about college or voting or disobeying her husband or any other man in general, she won't be able to. And it made me so angry. Like, what a dad, right? Yeah, you're my daughter and I want you to be stupid and uneducated and with no rights. And no, you can't wear bloomers. That's so unladylike. God. But yeah, so it's basically this just struggle between males and females in the 1900s and what it was like in general for young women and older women trying to get the vote. And so, definitely entertaining to read. Highly emotional for me because I was boiling. That men. Not that men are bad, but back then, please, allow your wives to have an opinion. You don't have to run their lives. They can do things for themselves, order their own food. Just drive me crazy. I'm so glad I wasn't brought up in this era. My goodness sakes. Love it. I love anything Kat Winters writes. I want this book on my shelf. It's beautiful. And I loved it. And there was awesome pictures. Let me show you the last picture of the book because it just shows you, look at all the suffragists. Beautiful. Historical fiction with a little bit of magical realism and highly engaging. There you go. The last book that I read, I just finished today, so I'm kind of cheating, but I did it before I started filming this, so it counts. And that is The Year of Shadows by Claire Legrand. Now, this book was a lot better than the Cavendish Home for Boys and Girls. I feel a theme coming on. She likes to read about people saving other people. And I practically bawled at the end of this book. I usually get teary-eyed or I'll have a tear or two fall when I'm reading, but this one I went, like, I was like really, really emotionally tied to this girl. And what the funny thing is, the main characters of both of these books are named Olivia, and their sidekicks, which is the male protagonists, are named Henry, which is very strange to have had both Olivias and Henrys in each book that I read. So, this book I thought was going to be a fluff piece. I thought it was going to be a baby horror book about a girl who can talk to ghosts, but it was just so much more. If you think that you will not like middle grade because middle grade is just, you can't relate, I would definitely continue to read middle grade, because I have been blown away about all the middle grade that I've been reading in the last year. I started last year around, I don't know, maybe springtime. I started reading middle grades again, and all of them have had really deep meanings, especially being a parent and then me seeing the emotions through these small children. It just makes all the feels happen. But I'm getting sidetracked. So Olivia is a 12-year-old 7th grader. She just lost her house. They've had a big economic crash, and so her dad decides to sell all their things and their house, and the dad is a maestro for a philharmonic orchestra that is in this town that they live in, and he's losing business. People don't have the money to go and see his orchestra anymore because it's an entertainment instead of a need. And so not very many people are coming. The orchestra is losing hope. They've had to move into the symphony hall, and she is completely embarrassed. And not only that, but right when this all happened a year ago, her mom left. She decided she didn't love the dad anymore. They split up. The mom never contacted him or the daughter, and so Olivia is very bitter. She hates her father. She doesn't even call him dad anymore. She just calls him maestro. She's just pissed off in general. She's a very, very sad, sullen little girl, and she has no friends because she pushed everybody away. She just wants to be left alone. And one day she comes across some ghosts, and just so happens that a boy named Henry, who goes to her school, who's also an usher for the orchestra, he sees the ghosts too, and then they eventually buddy up and then try to figure out a way to talk to these ghosts and ask them what they want. In the end, this book, I'm telling you, I cried. It's about forgiveness. Can Olivia forgive her dad for making her live in the symphony hall, for making her poor, for making her mom run away, for making all these bad things happen to her? Can she forgive him? Can she help these ghosts? Why are they contacting her? Why did she see them? Can she do anything about saving the symphony hall? I mean, it's falling down. Ticket sales are low. The orchestra might break up because no one's coming to see their show. Can she help that too? It's just it was so good. It was so good. One thing that I really liked about this book was that the ghosts weren't corny or cheap. They were very realistic. Like, if you had a ghost who needed closure, I mean, this is kind of the situation that it would be in. I loved every part of it. So, again, girl, could talk to ghosts, the fluffy part, but there's a deeper meaning in the inside. I loved it. I loved it. And I can't wait to finish Winter Spell. I got 10 pages, so we will see. But definitely check Claire Legrand out. She's a really good writer. Alright, so those 4 books I read last week for the AYearAthon, read-a-thon, and Bout of Books. And that's all I got done, so 4. I wanted to get more, but I told you my son fractured his wrist, and then I ended up, spending all of Monday panicked. Tuesday, I felt so awful for him. I practically was his little sidekick and just played with him all day because I felt awful. And then Wednesday, I started reading again, but I wasn't able to get as many books done as I wanted. So they're going to roll over for this week. So just quickly, I started Forget Me by K.A. Harrington this morning. Oh, the first couple pages were awful, and I was like, I don't even know if I can read this. But then there's a little twist just in the prologue. I'm not even on chapter 1 yet, and I was like, oh wait, maybe it actually will be good. So we will see. There isn't insta-love yet, but in the first couple pages, the girl, the main character, I don't know what is her name. I don't even think they said what her name is yet. Her boyfriend just moved to town 2 months ago. How do you have a boyfriend in 2 months? And you care enough to worry about, I don't know. It was weird. So that's why I was like, ew, I can't read this. If she's already having a boyfriend, he's only been in the town for 2 months. It's bizarre. You guys should just be friends that like to kiss or something. I don't know. Anywho, I'm excited to finish reading it. I'm also can continue on Winter Spell. Like I said, I got 10 pages in, but the font is so tiny. It's like 12 font, and there's like a million words on each page, so this is going to take forever. I mean, I'm going to read all these books hopefully in the week. I've already broken the books down, so I should be good to go, but it's going to take some time. And then I have Unremembered by Jessica Brody. Hopefully this is good. I've heard mixed things about it. I mean, no one's really actually talked about it. They said they bought it, but I think it's about a girl who gets in a plane accident. She's only a survivor. I'm interested. And then lastly, I need to finish up Vampire Academy. I was supposed to start this with Penelope last week, but I didn't get to it. So I'm going to start it today along with the other books. And that's it. I will see you guys on Friday to let you know what my Friday reads will be. And on Wednesday, I will be doing the full review of the Hellhole by Gina D'Amico. And I will see you soon. Bye!